Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, what's up? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I post a new video every week. So today, the time has come. We are talking about Polygel. Some of you have reached out and want to know some more information about Polygel, and while I don't personally do Polygel and offer Polygel, I can extend my knowledge to you and let you know what exactly is Polygel? How do we use Polygel? So we'll get into all of that and more right now. Okay, so first and foremost, what is Polygel? So Polygel, for those of you that don't know, is a hybrid formula, meaning that it's a mix of acrylic and gel. So it has the durability of an acrylic enhancement, meaning it'll last, it'll withstand some beatings to it, but then it has that flexibility in hard gel. If you do hard gel or have gotten hard gel, you'll know that when you do hard gel, instead of acrylic, it's not as, I don't know, some people like to use the word tight feeling as acrylic would be. So it has a little bit more flexibility to it while still durable, but a little bit more flexibility. So Polygel is kind of them creating the best of both worlds. How Polygel works is that it basically comes in like a little tube and you squeeze it out and you place it onto the nail. It can be sculpted. You can do nail art with Polygel, do ombre, you can use it on the tip. You can do anything that you would do with acrylic and gel, you can with Polygel. So how Polygel works is that it basically usually comes in like some type of tube and you scrape it off, you place it onto the nail, and it'll come with some type of solution, which is usually alcohol-based solution that'll come if you buy a Polygel kit. If not, as you've seen many YouTubers, they just buy regular alcohol and end up using that because the solution is usually, it's just another cost that you don't really need to do, and you can buy alcohol larger, but you use that solution and a brush to kind of move it into place. So the cool thing with Polygel is that it won't set. You have endless amount of time to work with it, sculpt with it, and all of that before putting it into the machine for it to finally cure. Also, it can be filled in when your customers come back. It goes through a regular fill-in process, just as you would with acrylic. However, with Polygel and also with hard gel as well, you might not have to remove the nails as much and soak off. As you know, you should only be soaking off about 2-3 times a year, but you won't even maybe need to even do that with Polygel. You can probably just like drill down what you need to and then fill it in or do a new set that way. So a tip that I can give a lot of people that are into acrylic, even if Polygel is not your thing, a big pro tip that I can give you is use it to practice your sculpting. As I said, you can sculpt it, mend it, work with it. It's a good way for you to practice building your apex, practice doing nail forms, which a lot of people have issues with, and sculpting. It's a really great formula to work with sculpting because, again, you have endless amount of time. There's no setting like acrylic, whether it's fast setting or slow setting. There's no inhibition layer. There's none of that going on in the nail where you can kind of just work with it and then cure it and kind of use it as a practice, even if you are interested in actually doing Polygel. How much does Polygel cost and how much would you charge for Polygel? So the cost for Polygel could be relatively affordable, just as if you're investing in any other nail supplies. You can buy a kit, which will come with several different colors. Most techs like to have some type of nude, your clear, your glitter, the same thing that you would kind of stock your shelves with acrylic. And for those options in nail art and designs, you would do the same thing for Polygel. And how you would charge just as much as you would for an acrylic or a gel set as you would for a Polygel. When do you use Polygel? So again, I find that it's really, really good if you're beginning and you want to do nail enhancements. Polygel is the perfect thing to offer because, again, you have endless time to work with it before it needs to go into the machine and cure. Also too, it can be placed on top of other enhancements. So if you have a customer that comes in and they have acrylic or they have gel, you can fill them in with Polygel. Or if you start them in Polygel, you can fill them in with acrylic or regular hard gel. So the enhancements can be crossed over. So again, this is when you would find the need to use it. Maybe it would depend on the design. Some people like to design in it. Maybe your client is starting to want to transition out of something, but they need a little bit more acrylic durability on the tips. however you feel the need to, that's when you would find the need to kind of make that assessment on your client's nails. And as a nail tech, you make that call when it will be time to switch them over or introduce them to Polygel. And again, a lot of new nail techs find that I had a student that loved to use Polygel, like that was her thing. She still uses it. And you can create all the same nice looks that you would with all the other enhancements while using Polygel and having it be slow setting, especially if you are a beginner nail tech. What are some of the supplies that you will need to do Polygel? So first, like I mentioned, you can always buy a little kit. So I have here this little kit that I have bought. This is from a cart. And you see here, you get several color tubes. This was like a rainbow kit or something like that. So you get like the tubes that have the different colors. They give you some nail forms. They give you a base and a top coat, and they'll give you a nail file. So this didn't come with the slip solution, but I have another kit that came with the slip solution. So don't mind the way the bottle looks. This has been sitting on my dresser. So it looks like something like this. It's always like really small. And like I said, because you use the slip solution a lot, you kind of want to work with it a little bit more on the wetter side. You tend to run through this. So most people just go out and buy regular alcohol, because this is, to keep rebuying slip solution is stupid when you can get a big jug of alcohol at a dollar store very cheap. Also, you will get your tool. So this is what you need to do Polygel. Most kits will come with it. The other kit did come with it, actually. I think I pulled it out. Maybe I did it. Anyway, so one side is going to be your little palette. This is how you will pull your Polygel off the tube, with one side, your picker, I think they call it. And then the other side, this is brand new, is your brush that you're going to be using. So most of the tools that are for Polygel is always dual. Most of the pickers that you will get will be dual side, and they will have both on each option. I've never really seen it where it was just one and then the other. Maybe if you're really into it and you start to like a certain brush, then maybe you might just do that. But like, again, I don't really do Polygel, so I'm not really sure. If you do Polygel, leave me a comment below. Let me know what's going on with that. If you always use this brush, or is it something that is a preference? Maybe you can switch brushes. Do you go up in a size like we do in acrylic? Leave me a comment below if you work with Polygel and you're somebody that's kind of an expert in that. But this is the tool that you would use for it. These are the little tubes of Polygel. So again, this was from a set. I know they do come bigger when you buy it in a kit, like with gel polish. They are a little bit smaller because you're getting like a sample enough to play around with the colors, and you can buy them a little bit bigger. Again, they are roughly very affordable. I don't know how long a larger tube would last if you're doing sets all the time, especially in like your basic nude colors. But these are the tubes that you would get of color. What you would also be able to use with your Polygel is, I mentioned that you can use it on nail forms, whatever. Another good way you can use them is on duo forms. So if you don't know about duo forms, you can use duo forms with acrylic as well. I'll just take it out. It always comes in like a little tip thing. These are cool in a sense where they are reusable. So these are nail forms and the plastic version. So what we normally use is the paper version of forms, but these are plastic. They can be sanitized and cleaned and reused. Most people, I don't really think anybody really reuses them, but they can be. So what they look like is, it's like a full coverage nail, and how it works, I don't know if you can even see up close a lot. You can kind of see that there's lines. I don't know if you see the little, yeah, you see the little lines right here. So you still have your marker to know how long you want to go. And how it works is you place your Polygel or your acrylic, your hard gel, whatever, into the duo form. You place it onto the nail, you press down. You want to make sure you don't have any like spillage around the cuticle, and then you would put it into the UV machine cure, and then you slowly just kind of rock it off, and you get a nice full coverage nail. So I'm going to be using this in a little bit to show you how it works. That would be your duo form, which is an optional thing if you chose to use your Polygel for that when you're doing full sets. Another optional tool will be some nail clips. So again, I'm going to be using these in my demo. These are really good that, again, I mentioned with the spillage. So how we would do is we would put our tip on, and then we would kind of clip it. Let me see if I can do this. we would kind of clip it. Okay, just to give a visual. So you would kind of clip it to make sure it's going to stay. It's going to give you that nice C curve, and then you would put it into the machine that way. So I'm going to show you how we can use this in the nails as well. So those are your basic polygel supplies that you would need just to get started. You see, it's not really a whole lot to it. It's very simple, and again, very affordable. So now I'm going to be showing you how we can do a basic polygel application using those dual forms, plastic dual forms, and using paper forms, and also how we can apply it onto a tip. So I'm going to show you 3 ways, basic application. Okay, so I have my hand here. I'm going to be doing 3 nails. So we're going to be doing the tip, a sculpted nail, and then the duo forms on this mannequin hand. So let's begin with the tip because that's the easiest one. But I'm going to make sure that I wipe all the debris from filing off all the nails. And I'm going to be using some non-acetone polish remover as my slip solution. I said earlier you can use acetone, alcohol, but I did not have any alcohol on hand. I don't have any more slip solution. So Google, my friendly friend Google, tells me that you can use non-acetone as slip solution, but it has to say non-acetone. So I'm going to use a little bit of this. Put this to the side. And for the color, I'm going to be using one of my colors that I have. It's just like a nice nude color. Oops. And then I'm going to take my little utensil. Like I said, this was new. Let's take all this off, get that brush ready. And so what you want to do with your polygel is immediately you're going to use this picker side. And I'm just going to squeeze out some. Take out enough that you think that you will need. And then we just place it right onto the nail. And then dip into your solution. And all you're going to do is you see that solution just makes it very workable. And again, I'm sure you've seen other YouTube tutorial videos where some polygels are more easy to work with than others. But you see, it just kind of glides it right into place. You can also brush it. This works very nicely. Look how nice this just comes out. And again, you have endless amount of time to work with it. I'm going to push some over here. And just play with it. And you just basically want to create your nail. And when you get it to where you want it to be, you just cure it. Put a little bit more by the cuticle. That off. I'm just gonna blend this into the cuticle. And brush this down. Let's make sure we get this whole nail covered. I do find that with polygel, you want to be careful though, because you can get little tiny air bubbles and air pockets into it. So you do want to just, before you cure it, just be mindful of that. But how easy was that? Wipe that away. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and cure this in my UV machine because I'm happy with it for right now. I can always file it. So let's cure this for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, this is all set and dry. Very simple. And then you can go ahead and just wipe off that inhibition layer. And then you can just begin filing the nail. It's very simple. So I'll wait till I'm done to file everything, but it's all set and cured, ready to go. So for the next one, let's say we're doing a form. I'm gonna go ahead and take my form. I'm gonna do it on this little pinky right here. Place your form on. I chose the smallest nail possible for this, but it's all good. So make sure we get this nice and snug. Okay, that's good. It only matters about this part, so. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat the same process that I did before. Let's clean off the picker, use same color. And I'm gonna just work this like I normally would. And I'm gonna put a little bit right here. And grab my slip. And just begin to work it onto this nail. Again, this is really good if you are trying to get your sculpting, work on your forms. I highly recommend it for that because it's really easy. Again, if you're a beginner nail tech, maybe there's certain things you can do. Maybe you can say, you know what, I'll only do sculpted nails with Polygel when somebody wants that, or I'll only do ombre with Polygel. It's whatever you want. Honestly, customers don't really know, and because it's kind of all the same thing, it doesn't really matter. So you want to be careful of something like this. Oh, well, since that just came out, so I'll just put this here. I don't know if you can see this on camera. Let me come back a little bit. I don't know if you're able to see this. There's like a little air pocket. So if you see an air pocket, just take your slip solution and kind of try to work it out. But you want to be mindful of little air bubbles in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and work it out. Because again, these air pockets are going to create a little bit of a hole, and we don't want anything to start to grow and fester, because as that nail will sit on someone and it'll grow out. If we don't tend to it now, it's going to be worse, and this is a potential cause for bacteria to start to develop on the nail. Push this into the cuticle. Get it nice and flat. Bring it on the sides. And you don't want to put too much liquid into it. You want just enough that you can maneuver it. But it doesn't need to be like dripping wet, but then it doesn't need to be dry. Like, you just want to be able to move it and work with it. Okay, so this looks good for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and cure this for another 2 minutes. Okay, so once that sets, I can go ahead and peel off my nail form. Okay, so what we're gonna do for the next one is the duo form. So the duo form, again, it has these little lines, if you can see that. So let's say we wanna measure it out to this nail. It's basically gonna go all the way. So in this scenario, we take our product and place it right into the form. So I'm gonna take a bunch. And you want to be mindful with the duo forms because we don't want too much spillage on the nail. So I'm going to place some inside. And take my solution. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work it while it's in the form. Again, still trying to keep it a little flat. And I'm just gonna brush it all the way to this line so it matches the other nails. You can even shape it so it's nice and square. Make sure it's nice and even. And again, the cool thing with Polygel is if you were doing this way, you can kind of do multiple nails, use your nail clip, which I'll show you in a second, and then have them stick their whole hand in. So you don't really have to do this finger by finger. Okay, so once you feel like you got it, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place this on the nail. And what you can do is place it down and cure it that way, or we can use a nail clip. So the nail clips look like this. You can get these on Amazon as well. So I'm gonna take this and place it right onto the nail and press down lightly. Now I could just take this and place it into the machine like this, or see, my form is a little smaller than the nail, but we wanna make sure we get this little spillage off. So we wanna make sure we do that. So my form's a little small, but you get the point. If I was using a nail clip, what I'm gonna do is take this nail clip and hold it down into place. Again, making sure we kind of get any spillage. Also, you wanna flip the hand over because you see it kind of buckles down when you press. So we always wanna just smooth it back out. So we get a nice undernail, a lot less work that we have to do later on for filing. Turn it back over, and then I'm gonna cure this, just like this, in the machine for a minute or two. Okay, so once that comes out the machine, we can take our nail clip off. And what you do with the Duo, you see these two little flaps that are on the side? This is for you to grip it a little bit, and all you do is just kind of rock that nail left and right. Boom, it comes off. Again, my form was a little small, but you get the point. I didn't measure it. These fingers are very fat, and that's why these are considered reusable, because if I were to just like spray this, we can easily just take some swipe, wipe this guy out, spray it, a little antiseptic spray, and she's good to go again. So we can reuse these. And I love that it gives you that nice little finish, but you want to make sure again that you always wipe underneath when you're using the dual forms, and then you would just file them as normal. So this is basically 3 different ways that you can work with your Polygel. So now that we see that Polygel is very simple to work with, it's very easy, I always suggest, again, like I said, if you are a beginner nail tech, use it to practice. Use it to practice your sculpting. It's very easy to work with. It's very affordable. If you want to give Polygel a try, I would highly suggest it. I always say, as a nail tech, as a nail teacher, you always want to educate yourself. You never know that you might like something. Sometimes you need to just try something and then realize, you know what, this is cool. This might be my thing. So don't ever say like, no, that's not going to be for me. It's always worth it. Knowledge, education, we're always training ourselves to be better, to do better. So don't just say, whatever, to hell with Polygel. So give it a try if it seems like something that would be interesting to you, something that could help you out, speed you up, or maybe you can just add on to a service. Again, it's very easy to do. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.